Hey guys, how you doing? So, what does it take to become a great programmer? If you've been following my channel for a while, you know what the rules are, what the qualities are of a great programmer. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop into this Quora article, and somebody pinned a comment that I thought was interesting. It reaffirms and concisely puts it all together for you. So let's just jump into it. So this guy, Damien, says, I've been programming and managing remote teams for a decade plus. So he's pretty experienced. So let's jump into it. My team and I interview hundreds of developers and designers every year. Through this, I've noticed that many of the best programmers share similar characteristics. If you want to become a good programmer, I suggest adopting the following into your work ethic. Number one, have a positive attitude. It doesn't matter how hard you work. If your attitude is bad, you won't get very far. It's important to show that you care about your work and that you are willing to go the distance to get the job done. A good way to keep a positive attitude is to work on projects that are interesting to you. It sounds obvious, but many people will agree to roles that they have no interest in. Playing it safe won't make you a great developer. So what are my comments on that one? Yeah, I talk about that in a broad sense. I talk about good interpersonal skills, the ability to get along with people. This all has to do with positive attitude, etc. One of my mentors told me a long time ago, he said he'd rather have an average skilled employee working with him that had a good attitude, got along with people, communicated well, rather than having a hotshot who was a total jerk. Hotshots who are total jerks get booted from businesses pretty quickly because they just become unmanageable. They become useless to the organization. So keep that in mind. Foster deep knowledge. Carefully select the technologies you want to work with. Aim to become an expert in a couple, but competent with many. Research skills carefully, and you can future-proof your career. I've answered questions about this on Quora, which you may want to take a look at. Always follow coding standards and write code that is understandable, commented where necessary, and can be passed on to someone else easily. This is always important, but in the remote age, it is essential. Okay, when we comment on that, something I always talk about, what makes great developers or developers who write clean, simple code that is easy to understand. Self-describing code is what I talk about. What's self-describing code? This is code where the variable names and the method names, etc., tell a story about what the software is doing. So as a simple example, if your method, your function is validating emails, don't call it check to see some secret message. Call it validate email address. Pretty simple. Anyway, simple concept, simple, clean code. That's why I keep emphasizing refactoring in all my videos. Learn to refactor after you learn your fundamentals, and also design patterns. Design patterns is a way to organize your code in a way that's understandable, that people understand. It's all part of best practices. So yeah, so far so good with this guy's 2 cents. All right, keep up to date with new technologies. There's no point in being an expert in dated tech. You should be highly competent with agile development, task management software, version control, and different environments, local development environments, working knowledge of deploying applications. So let me comment on that as well. That does not mean you should jump out and learn everything, because what you're going to find that in software development, different companies will have different methodologies that they're going to implement. Some will use Git, some will use other things, some will use Trello, some will use Slack. It varies quite a bit. So you have to know version control, of course. Git is probably the best choice there. Development environments, again, they vary quite a bit based on the company. Some will have different strategies. That all said and done, when you're first starting out, this type of stuff is not nearly as important as just being able to write basic apps and deploy them to the server without any fancy production tools. So don't worry about this stuff. As you get deeper and deeper into the game of software development, these skills will come to you over time. But you have to keep your eye out on what's out there on the horizon. So something I talk about now is the no-code movement, which seems to be growing pretty quickly. I don't see them as a threat to development, no-code solutions, but I just see them as a complement to development. I see them as tools that you can use as developers. Anyway, point number 3, as he points out here, keep up to date with new technologies. There's nothing I can argue there. Learning ability, again, something I talk about all the time. Every programmer will experience situations where they don't know an answer. The great programmers will work out to find an answer. They will look at different resources, talk to the right people, and find solutions no matter what. Great developers have mastered the skill of self-learning. Yes, self-learning is key. That's something that you will do as a developer. You're going to be pivoting from technology A, B to C. You may find yourself in a situation where you're going to have to use technology E based on the needs of the job. Even though you've never used technology E, you learn it, you use it, you deploy it. As long as you stick to best practices, you know your fundamentals really well, it's not that difficult. All right, let's get to the next point. Communication skills. Number 5, communication skills. Good communication skills directly correlate with good development skills, 100%. The ability to communicate is crucial for understanding problems clearly, being able to break them down into hypotheses and propose solutions in a coherent manner. You should be able to learn concepts quickly, and yes, this is a skill that improves through practice. You know, it's a lot easier for me to read comments and articles when they're well written. Anyhow, if English is not your first language, make sure you know it well and can communicate it effectively. In the world of technology, English is the de facto language of most documentation and developer interactions. If you don't speak it well enough, interpreters or translators may be required, making your knowledge secondhand and easily outdated. Learn English, no question. Time management. Number 6, it is important that you be reliable, show up at meetings on time, and if you want to be great at what you do, you should be able to manage your time effectively. Another vital skill is the ability to estimate the amount of time needed to complete a task, communicating this and delivering on this. Let me comment on that quickly here. I talk about that a lot, how you have to learn to be able to judge how long it takes to do a particular task, and you have to deliver. So what do I mean by that? If you say it's going to be done by Thursday, you make sure it's done by Thursday. If you have to stay up all night to get it done by Thursday because you underestimated, you made a mistake, you stay up all night to get it done by Thursday. It's very important that you show up on time and you meet your deadlines. That makes you reliable, that makes you trustworthy, that makes you valuable. If you start slacking on everything, not good. One of my old friends used to say 90% of success is just showing up. Same thing in software development. Show up on time, be true to your word, make sure you deliver on time. This is huge. This is huge. Let's go on. All right. This sounds bad, but there's some truth to it. Be a team player. Great developers help other developers improve. They offer teammates help when they are stuck. Teach new skills to others. Write documentation. Help teammates not only in their organization, but the developer community as well. This is all true. At the end of the day, the more useful you are to people around you, whether it be your coworkers, your clients, or your boss, the more valuable you will be. The more you can anticipate people's needs and address them and help them, fantastic. At the end of the day, we're all service providers. We're all there providing a service to make people's lives easier. The easier you can make people's lives, the better you are at your job at the end of the day. So don't be afraid. Don't be reluctant to reach out and help people out with what they're doing. You get a lot of reward from that. I get a lot of reward from that, teaching people. I hear back from people who learned from me 10, 15 years or longer, 20 years ago. And it's great to hear from. It's great that I was able to help a bunch of people start their careers. And it's very rewarding. So you don't have to wait 10, 15 years to get this reward. You can help people out right around you, make their lives easier, whether it be coworkers or your boss or your client. And trust me, you will be rewarded for that. It's very good advice there from that guy. And finally, Expertise is overrated. As much as specific skill expertise is important, it shouldn't be the single factor you focus on. A great insert skill here, developer is not necessarily a great developer. It's the addition of soft skills, and I talk about that all the time, above that make them great. The ability to learn quickly and jump into a project seamlessly to help others out, to always have a great attitude. These are skills that make you an invaluable member of a business. Okay, I rewrote that on the fly. Consider implementing some or all of these characteristics and you easily become a good, if not great programmer much faster. Even within a year, it depends on how much work you do in that year, of course. That's very good advice. So this guy here, Damien, I can't pronounce Philia Trout. I don't know if I said it right. In this core article, this is good. So we'll just recap. Have a positive attitude. Yeah. Foster deep knowledge, 100%. Keep up to date with new tech. Learning ability, you got to be able to learn. Communication skills. Time management, deliver things on time. Be a team player. Help people around you. Think of yourself as a service provider. And expertise is overrated. Yeah, it's a combination of these factors. All right. I hope you found this video useful. It was good advice, so I thought I would put it out here. Now, people who know my channel know I've been talking about this all over the place for years now. Again, it's because I've been hiring people for years, been working in the game since '94. So these are the lessons I've learned over the years, and 100%. So if you follow these principles, you'll be well off. That's why, for example, he talks about positive attitude, learning ability, communication skills, time management, team player. These are all non-techie skills if you think about it, right? Of the 7 points, 8 points he notes, let me get this, only like one is, okay, that's tech, that's it. The rest is all soft skills, communication skills, and so forth. So only 2 of the 8 was directly tech-oriented in terms of skills to become a great developer. So keep that in mind when you're jumping into the game. Hope this helps. Bye-bye.